So a couple weeks ago I was in a store called Costumes Etc. here in Atlanta buying makeup items for my students, makeup kits, and I ran into this drag queen named Jaylish, and she completely convinced me to get this product that she uses for the perfect foundation, highlight, and contour. So here it is. So I was just fascinated by him. He was giving us so much great tips and tricks, and he knew so much about the product. So a lot of you guys know that a lot of professional makeup artists use theatrical brands, and drag queens do too, because it is kind of like theatrical makeup. You know, it needs to be more pigmented, heavier coverage, so that way you can use it to manipulate. So he used this product, and he really just boiled it down to one simple palette, and I was like, that's awesome, what a great idea. So this is what he told me to buy, and it's by Carnival. It's the Ultra Foundation Trio. So it only comes in a couple of different shade options. Unfortunately, it doesn't really have a lot of shades, but I thought I would be able to get away with this one, which is the Ultra Foundation Trio OB3 YHT5. So as you can see, it actually has 3 colors of foundation in it, and there's a yellow for highlight, a darker brown for contour, and like a tan for foundation. So I was really excited about that, because this little wheel could travel with me in my little makeup bag. It can go with me on vacation, and I haven't personally used Carnival foundation, but I've heard a lot of great things about it. I've used their Dermacolor concealer, just not the foundation. So I'm going to give you a live demo. I'm going to do highlight, contour, and all that stuff, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so when I do my foundation, I like to do my cream foundation, then cream highlight, then cream contour. I'll show you why that makes sense. So this is my own foundation, so I can just dig right into it. So let me grab a foundation brush. So I don't know why, it's so new, I just want to scoop it out. So let me just get a palette, because I'm just going to get a palette because it's just too pretty to just dig my brush into it. Alright, so I'm going to take the foundation. So as you can see, this is tan. I'm pretty tan right now, so I think this is going to match me. I'm going to scoop it out with my little palette knife, my spatula, onto the back of my hand. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply the foundation. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the foundation on, I think it's a pretty good match. It's got a nice amount of yellow in it. Matches my chest pretty decently. I think it's a smidge light, but it's totally fine because we're going to do highlight and contour. Alright, so I'm going to take my spatula, and now I'm going to go to the highlight. So I like to do the highlight next because I don't want to muddy up my face with a darker color on it and then try to do the highlight. It's best to go light to dark. So I'm going to scoop out some of my yellow shade, and now I'm going to put this on the back of my hand, and then let's go ahead and apply this where I would highlight. So this is a very kind of light yellow, so I'm just really hoping this gives me a nice amount of brightness. Alright, now I have a damp sponge. It's not a beauty blender. This is actually from Pure Cosmetics. It came with one of their Cameo contour sticks, but I really like it because it's got this flat edge. So it's really nice. Alright, so let's go ahead and blend it in. I'm going to use the small pointy side. Not the small flat side, rather. Because I want to shear this out. And this is definitely full coverage. The wet sponge is also going to absorb extra product, so that way it gives me a nice natural layer. Okay, what do you guys think? So it's definitely lightened up these areas, but I was able to shear it out, and I think it's definitely nice and bright, but I need some more brown in my skin. So now we're going to do the contour. So I always say to my students that you can kind of fake the foundation as long as it's close enough to the chest if you do highlight and contour, because the highlight and contour will break apart the foundation. So it doesn't have to be like a one perfect match, because it's not all the way even down. You have your light and your dark breaking it up. So now I'm going to scoop out some of the dark. Now I'm not going to be crazy with it because I don't know how dark this is going to go on my skin, and it is kind of like a darker contrast. So I'm going to take another brush and paint this on. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to the opposite side of the sponge because I already have the light stuff here, and I'm going to blend out the dark contour. It's blending out really nicely too, even though it's a dark color. It's actually really subtle. Okay, blended it all in. I think it looks pretty good. It looks super natural and just like lit from within. The brown's back in my skin. Now if I wanted to, at this point I could go back and kind of touch up if I want a little bit more coverage. Okay, and then if you feel like you're not really blended as you want to be, a trick is to just take a translucent powder and set your whole face, and it'll kind of blend in the edges and anything that you didn't quite melt into each other. So I'm going to go ahead and take a translucent powder. This is from Cover FX. It's the illuminating setting powder. I'm going to mix light and medium just so I kind of get an in-between shade. And now I'm going to take a big powder brush. This is from Cover FX, and I'm just going to apply that all over to kind of diffuse all the lines. You want to use a patting motion so that way we don't disturb any of the coverage underneath. Okay, do you see how it kind of blended everything together? So what do you guys think? Is it thumbs up or thumbs down? I personally think that it's a very nice product. It's totally wearable by everyday women. I love the convenient trio. If the foundation's too dark or too light, you can always mix in the lighter or the darker shades to modify it. And of course you have your highlight and contour. So I think it's really convenient. I would totally, you know, especially like for on the go, I would totally bring this. Saves a lot of room than packing 3 different things. And what I would like to do next is I actually do a cream contour and a foundation, and then I go over with a powder contour and foundation, because that way I kind of re-emphasize anything that was blended away. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is my IT Cosmetics sculpting kit. So I'm just going to go over the contour especially, just to make sure that it's really in there. And then I do feel like my skin is just a little bit beige versus kind of brown. So I'm going to go in with a bronzer. Take the bronzer and just kind of bronze everything real quick. This is from Graftobian. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. And then let's go through and re-highlight. So I'm going to take a yellow powder from NYX, loose powder, and go ahead and reapply. Now you can always take your wet sponge and apply your highlight powder, because it won't make it look so dry and it'll make it look nice and blended. So if you have issues with dry under eyes, apply it with a wet sponge. Okay, since we're still going, might as well throw some blush on. So let's see, I'm going to use a blush with a little bit of shimmer because we have kind of like a matte face right now. So this is the Milani Berry Amore blush, one of my favorites. I love Milani's mineralized blushes, are so good. Putting it right in between the highlight and the contour. And then up at an angle to continue to slim the face. Alright, and why not add a little shimmer? Because why not? Cover FX Sunlight Illuminator. Used to love this stuff. Putting it right on top of the cheekbone. Ooh, this is so pretty. And that's it, because my eyes and my lips are done. I use the Urban Decay New Naked Heat on my eyes, as well as the lip pencil that came with a collection called Torch, which is this really gorgeous kind of terracotta shade. So what do you guys think? I think I'm done. I don't feel like it's a lot, like it doesn't feel too heavy. I can always set it with some rose water just to kind of tone down the powder. But it feels pretty good. And if you like this product, I will link it below. Totally not sponsored by this with my own money, but I just thought it was like an interesting thing to see what drag queens use and if I could use it too, because I am always a drag queen at heart. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll have a full breakdown of this post on makeupbyrenron.com. I upload every Thursday, so please don't forget to subscribe and like and hit that notification bell so you can see when I have new videos. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and until next time, have a great night. Ciao, Bellas.